Duchesne from Farmington Valley is in lane number 6. That's from up there in Connecticut, Farmington Valley. 63rd in the 500 free last year she was. Amelia Doach, Burbank, Massachusetts, is in lane number 6. And Catherine Simpson, 29th in this event last year from Hickory, North Carolina, is in lane number 8, coached by the legendary John Jolly. And over on the men's side, we see heat number 2 now in the water. And out of lane number 1, which is at the top of your screen. On the women's side, lane number 1 is at the bottom of your screen. Ethan Shutton from Schrader is in lane number 1. Isaac Carr, 25th in the 500 free last year from Champaign, Illinois. He's in lane number 2. Maddox Turnus from Spartanburg, South Carolina, in lane number 3. Nathan Spetz, Pal Crosley Tiger Sharks, is in lane number 4. He was 11th in this event last year. Riley Twist from Westport, Weston, Connecticut, 10th last year in this event. He's in lane number 5. Cody Lonsbury from Indian Valley, Connecticut, up in the Hartford area there. He's in lane 6. Will Charlton in 7, 14 years old from Piedmont, Virginia. And in lane number 8, Jack McCray, 52nd in the 500 free last year from Upper Palmetto, South Carolina, lane number 8. So there's your fields as you are watching live as we stream from the Greensboro Aquatic Center. Beautiful, beautiful facility. We've been here over 10 years now for YMCA Nationals. This is a special year. We apologize for a little bit of the streaming issues earlier this evening, but we are on track now. And right now over on the women's side, we've got Kirsten Deachwiller from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. She is the only woman right now pacing in the 30. She was 30.76 in that last. She was 3:00:33. And over on the men's side, the leader Riley Twist down in the 27. He was 27:59 on that last 50. He's 1:46:99 at the 200. So on the women's side, we're 350 through right now with Deachwiller still in that 30-point mark. Petrocelli in second from Greater Somerset County. She's at 3:32.85 through the 350. And then on the men's side now through 250, 1/4 of the way through this 1,000, Riley Twist. He is at 2:14.76, and he's followed by Isaac Carr up there in lane number 2, and then Cody Lonsbury in lane number 6. And on the women's side, they are 16 lengths through, 400 through of this 1,000. Kirsten Deachwiller, still your leader, followed by Katie Petrocelli in lane number 2. So Deachwiller down here in the green suit. You can see her there in lane number 3. And in third, Samantha Dugan from Greater Monmouth up there in lane number 5. But now looks like 6th down, moving up from Farmington Valley, Catherine Duchesne. And on the men's side, 300 through, still Riley Twist from Westport Weston, followed by Isaac Carr in lane 2, and Cody Lansbury in 6. And again, on the men's side, top of your screen is lane number 1, and on the women's side, top of your screen is lane number 8. So some pretty good swims going on right now on both sides. Now trying to move up on Riley Twist. Up there in lane number 2 is Isaac Carr. Isaac Carr from Champaign, Illinois. Petrocelli trying to make a move here on the women's side. Sorry, Petrocelli, Katie from Greater Somerset County Y. And then also up there in lane number 6, Catherine Duchesne still hanging in there. They're 22 lengths through. And on the men's side, we'll be heading up to the halfway mark. And it's still Twists, and we'll see where Riley is. He's still in the 27s. He's at 28.09 on that last 50 at 4:33.57 going through. 9:04 our leader right now on the men's side, and that was Isaac Flagg from Schrader. Your national record on the women's side, 9:27.19, way back in 2013, Danielle Valley. She also holds the championship meet record. She was found for the Sarasota Sharks back in 2013. And on the men's side, Ross Dant is your national record holder. Dant, as I think you might have heard Bruce say earlier, did finish second in the mile at NC2As last weekend. So Twist still your leader on the men's side. Twist from Westport Weston, a senior. Beach Wheeler still your leader on the women's side. Trying to make a move now up there in lane number 6 is Catherine Duchesne. She looks like she now is in second. Men's side through 24 lengths. 600 through. And on the women's side, we'll be hitting in the 30 length mark with Beach Wheeler still your leader. Followed by Pestricelli. Followed by Duchesne and then Pestricelli. Duchesne up there in lane number 6 and Petricelli down here in lane number 2. Riley Twist on the men's side trying to stretch it out a bit. He was 28.30 on that last 50. We'll see where he is right now. Carr holding down second. And Twist. Another 28.30 on the board code. Pretty consistent for Riley Twist. Shout out to those folks back in Westport, Connecticut. Great YMCA there along the coast, the Long Island coast in southwest Connecticut. So lane 3 here on the women's side. Still Beach Wheeler, then Duchesne, and then Pestricelli. Twist, Carr, Lonsbury remain your leaders here in heat number 2 for the men. It's also heat number 2 for the women. So 32 lengths through. This is coming up on the 34th lengths for the men. And the women are through 36 lengths with 100 to go on the women's side. So Riley Twist at 28.14, picking it up, accelerating a bit. Riley is a big brother who just swam up there at Fairfield University, I think Austin. Up his senior year for the Fairfield Stags in the MAC Conference. Solid mid-major. So trying to make it a little bit of a race here. Catherine Duchesne moving up. Try to chase down Beach Wheeler, but they're on their home strokes, and it will be Kirsten Beachwheeler, followed by Catherine Duchesne, and then Katie Pestricelli. Beachwheeler goes 10:14.31, followed by Duchesne at 10:16.02, and then Pestricelli at 10:22.41 out of heat number 2. And here we go with Riley Twist. Twist at 28.17 again, finishing up his last 50 there, and he finishes at 9:15.65. So real solid swing for Riley Twist, and followed by Isaac Carr to 9:19.75. And then Cody Lomsbury from Indian Valley, he goes 9:21.17. So great swim for those gentlemen. In the water for on the women's side is heat number 3 of 6. And out of lane number 1 is Catherine Carboni, Western Connecticut, 20th in this event last year. Emerson Dalton from Hamilton, New Jersey is in lane number 2. Ellery Brickall, 53rd last year in the 500 free from Spartanburg, is in lane 3. Taylor Goodwin, 24th in this event last year from Western North Carolina, is in lane number 4. Dylan Eldridge, 87th of the 4IM last year from Greater Monmouth, is in 5, lane number 6. Alexandra Summers from Hamilton, New Jersey, 18th in this last year. Likes to be called Lexi from what I understand. Lane 7 is Josie Marino, 14 years old from Wyckoff, New Jersey. And Bridget Rinkowitz from Lakeland Hills, 23rd in this event last year, is in lane number 8. So lane number 8 on the women's side is at the top of your screen, lane number 1 at the bottom. And your early leader there is Taylor Goodwin out 30.71 out of lane number 4. Over on the men's side, heat number 3 in the water. And once again, at the top of your screen is lane number 1. We'll start right there. Lincoln Council from Spartanburg in lane number 1. Michael Ferrioli from Greater Somerset County. He was 26th in this event last year, is in 2. Michael Grannon, 37th into 500 last year. He's in lane number 3 from Wyckoff. Sean Kelty from Hickory, North Carolina, 24th in the 4IM last year. Lane 4, lane number 5, Nick Brickall, Spartanburg, South Carolina. He's 21st in the 4IM last year. Bennett Harris is lane number 6 for Triangle area, otherwise known as Yoda. YMCA, the Triangle area in the Raleigh-Durham area. Anthony Garano from Piedmont, 28th in this event last year, is in lane 7, and Nick Volkov, lane number 8 from Greater Monmouth, New Jersey. He was 20th in this event last year. So that sets you up on the men's and the women's side. So let's go over to the women's side so we can see where we are. Dylan Eldridge from Greater Monmouth. She's in lane number 5. Through 10 lengths, she was 231.67. And Taylor Goodwin in lane number 4 next to her. And down here in lane number 2 from Hamilton, New Jersey, is Emerson Dalton. So they are through 300. Eldridge at 302.34. Goodwin at 303.44. And Emerson Dalton at 304.37. Over on the men's side, moving up on the 250 mark, will be 1/4 of the way through. And it is still Lincoln Council up there in lane number 1. He posted 28.70, so 250 through. And then Anthony Garano down here in lane 7. He was 219.97. And Nick Volkov from Greater Monmouth, he was 20th in this event last year, 220.28. They're coming up on the 300 mark, women coming up on the 400 mark. And on the women's side, still out of lane number 5, Dylan Aldridge. Dylan posts 331.20, and she's at 404.54, followed by Taylor Goodwin right next to her. Taylor Goodwin from Western North Carolina at 405.66, and then still Emerson Dalton holding down third at the 407.18. And on the men's side, still Lincoln Council up there in lane number 1. He was Lincoln Council from Spartanburg, 15 years old. He's still being followed by Nick Bacall now, his training partner and teammate from Spartanburg, and then Anthony Garano from Piedmont. Things tightening up a little bit now, moving up out of lane number 4. We can see Sean Kelty, again coached by the infamous John Jolly. Great distant coach, coach of Ross Dant, our national record holder in this event. I just saw online, and you never know what you see online is always true, but I understand it is a beautiful town, Hickory, North Carolina, and one of the best places to settle in and settle down and live in the USA. All right, on the women's side, we are coming up on length number 22, which will be about 550 through. Still Dylan Aldridge. Taylor Goodwin next to her, and then down here in lane number 2, Emerson Dalton. On the men's side, we're halfway through. Keep your eye still on Lincoln Council. He's at 4:44.41, followed by Nick Bacall in lane 5, his training partner and teammate from Spartanburg. And then Sean Kelty from Hickory, North Carolina, trying to make a move. He was 28.99 on that last 50, so he is beginning to accelerate and try to catch Lincoln Council up there in lane number 1. On the women's side, now moving up, they'll have 14 lengths to go after the feet punch the pad here, the pads. And it's still Dylan Eldridge, Greater Monmouth. Jack Cascino, head coach there in Monmouth, right down there on that beautiful Jersey shore. And now out of lane number 5 on the men's side, Nick Bacall trying to overtake Lincoln Council. Also down here in lane number 2 from Somerset County. I'm sorry, it's down here in lane 7. My bad. I had the screens mixed up a little bit. We got Garano from Piedmont accelerating at 28.77 on that last 50. So 28.62. Here comes Brannon trying to move up from Wyckoff, New Jersey. You can see him up there in lane number 3. And over on the women's side, we're heading into the 30th length. So we'll be 70%, 75% through here on the women's side. And it is still Dylan Eldridge as she's trying to stretch it out a bit. She was 31.32 on that last 50. She's at 77.42.95. And on the men's side now we can see down here in lane number 5, Nick Bacall taking over the lead. Also moving up out of lane 3, that's Michael Grana from Wyckoff, New Jersey. And down here in lane number 7, Anthony Garano still holding on to second. Gentlemen are through 30 lengths, 250 to go. And on the women's side, just notice this, but there's 2 Bacalls in this in the pool at the same time. It's like Ellery Bacall from Spartanburg, and probably your brother Nick at the same time. So shout out to the Bacall family. We get a chance to get their money's worth here in the 1,000 for those 2 young student athletes. Nick Bacall, your leader on the men's side, really having a good back half with 6 lengths to go, 150 to go. And on the women's side, Dylan Eldridge has 100 to go and trying to move up. Still in that top 3. Here's Emerson Dalton from Hamilton, New Jersey, having a good swim. She was 30.86 on that last 50, so she's beginning to accelerate and try to chase down Dylan Eldridge from Greater Monmouth. So on the men's side, 100, less than 100 to go now. Nick Bacall, followed by Michael Brannon. It's starting to separate out, and then Anthony Garano still hanging in there just ahead of Lincoln Council. good swim right there for Nick Bacall. I mentioned Bacall. He was 21st in the 4 IM last year, so he got an evening swim in that event. And here comes Dylan Eldridge. She goes 10:19.99, followed by Emerson Dalton at 10:21.18, and finishing up on third on the women's side, Taylor Goodwin with a 10:21.74. Nice swim for those ladies. And Bacall, he goes 9:29.07 for the men. Michael Brannon finishes up 9:31.08, and then Anthony Garano takes third in that third heat at 9:37.41. Two more heats on the men's side and on the women's side. So heat 4 staging for the women right now on the blocks. Like they're about ready to go, and then the men's side they're staging behind the blocks also. And there go the women. So the women are in on heat number 4. And we've got in lane number 1, which is at the bottom of your screen, from York, Aveline Walsh. Elise Pauschel from Oshkosh, Wisconsin's in lane number 2. Lane number 3, Sophia Badillo from Racine, Wisconsin. Lane number 4, Audrey Langanelli from Upper Main Line. Lane number 5, Anna Buchert from Spartanburg. She was 22nd in this event last year. Molly Fultz is in lane number 6 for Upper Main Line, and Caitlin Bauer, lane number 7 for Lynchburg, Virginia. Megan Gangaway from Lehigh, East Hartford, Connecticut, is in lane number 8. And over on the men's side in heat number 4, water from the Wilton Wahoos in lane number 1 is Michael Adams. Lane number 2 from Fanwood Scotch Plains, Will Hines. Lane number 3, AJ Farner from Birmingham, Michigan. Lane number 4 is Will Pestricelli. Saw his sister earlier in the 1,000. She was in heat number 2, Katie. He's from Greater Somerset County, lane number 4. Liam Ailman from Western North Carolina is in 5. Lane number 6 from Schrader, Wisconsin is Evan Harrison. Nick Stroh from Pal Crosley Jr., the Tiger Sharks. He was 32nd in the 500 last year. He's in 7, and Chase Shapiro from Westport Weston is in lane number 8, which is at the bottom of your screen. Looks like Chase is right up there in the mix right now. Will Pestricelli was 21st in this event last year. Liam Ailman, Western North Carolina, lane number 5. He was 25th last year. Pestricelli in lane number 4. And we keep an eye on things right now on the men's side. We have Will Hines from Fanwood Scotch Plains out in the 200 and 151.25. And he's followed by Chase Shapiro down here in lane number 8 at 151.43. And then AJ Farner in lane number 3 from Birmingham, Michigan at 151.56 for that 200. So on the women's side, right now, it looks like down, up there, lane number 8, Megan Gangaway. Incredible. Look at this. Way out through 300. She was 30.80 on that last 50. She's sub 3 minutes. She's at 2:59.09. So she's having a great first part of this 1,000 swim. Megan was 56th in the 500 last year at this event, at this meet. Gangaway followed by Bauer in lane number 7. Bauer from Lynchburg, Virginia, now tied with Anna Buchert from Spartanburg, South Carolina. But Gangaway well ahead of the field right now through 14 lengths. And on the men's side, very tight right now up there in lanes 1, 2, and 3. We got Farner in 3, Hines in 2, and Michael Adams from the Wilton Wahoos. Yeah, he had the second fastest split of that last 50 at 29.20. We'll see what these boys can do as they're completing 400, as are the women. So at the 400 mark, it's still Farner at 3:47.90, Hines at 3:48.11, and Adams at 3:48.40. So top heavy up there on that screen, lanes 3, 2, and 1 respectively. And your leader on the women's side at the top of the screen, we saw Megan Gangaway through 18 lengths, so that's 450. Coming up on the 500 mark after this 50. Gangaway split in 31.39. Bauer was the fastest split in that heat in that last 50. She was 31.28. Still on the men's side. And also want to keep her eye on lane number 5, trying to move up from Western North Carolina. Liam Aylman, he was 29.08 on that last split. So there's a race here going on the men's side with 4 young athletes. And right now, looks like Aylman trying to make a move. Aylman was 28.95, fastest split there, so he's accelerating nicely as they got through the 500. And at that leader, the 500 time was 4:46.26 was A.J. Farner, and then Hines was 4:46.31. Now 550 through on the men's side. On the women's side, still Gangaway, she's 5:35.80. through 22 lengths, which is the 550 mark, 450 to go over there. And the men's side, top 4. Still looking pretty good with Farner, Hines in 2, Farner in 3, Aylman in 5, and then Adams in lane number 1. So A.J. Farner, he splits 29.41, but here comes Aylman, Leon Aylman from Western North Carolina, splitting 29.26 as they are through 600. Gangaway, Kaylee, where's Kaylee? Coach Kaylee, there she is, right near that short course mark. You can see her cheering her athlete on. Shout out to Dad Ed. Not sure whether he's here or back in that Hartford area, but Gangaway having a great swim for those Lehigh girls. And on the men's side, 26 lengths through, still Farner, Aylman, Hines, and Adams in that order. And on the women's side, we've got Gangaway and Bauer, and now trying to move up again out of lane number 4, Audrey Langanelli from the Upper Mainline YMCA, beautiful Berwyn, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. Which cut Todd Connor. And then on the men's side, up to 30 lengths through, 3/4 of the way. A.J. Farner from Birmingham, Michigan. Gangaway trying to hold on. And let's see what these splits are. We've got Bauer now splitting 32.18. Gangaway was at 32.40. Leads just under 3 seconds over Bauer, and then Langanelli for Upper Mainline still holding down 3rd. So 800 through on the men's side. Still Farner, Aylman, Hines, and Adams battling it out. Up there on the top of your screen, lane number 1, Michael Adams trying to overtake Will Hines from Fanwood Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Adams from Wilton, Connecticut. Gangaway trying to make up a little distance is Caitlin Bauer, who split that 32-18 on that last 50. We'll see where these ladies are now on their splits. Langanelli now picking it up. He was 31.91 on that last. Bauer still making a move, but plenty of water right there. Gangaway leading all the way from the beginning of the race. We'll see if she'll be able to hold on this last 150. And the men with less than 100 to go. Farner up there in lane 3. And it's Aylman. And it's Hines and Adams. Almost stroke for stroke up there in lanes 2 and 1 respectively. So we're on our last 50 on the men's side. We'll see what they have left. But Farner putting it down. We'll see where he comes in on this last split. 27-45 split for AJ Farner. And then Aylman at the 28-24. And Will Hines saving it up a little bit. He was 27-15 on the last split, and Adams at 27.95. So great swim for those guys on the men's side. Gangaway chill. Here comes Langanelli. Boy, she had that last surge. And Gangaway leading from start to finish on the women's side. She goes 10-23-48, followed by Audrey Langanelli, who basically back quartered that 1,000 for the women there, and then Caitlin Bauer finishes up in third at a 10:27.28. So great swim on the ladies' side. Final heat for the men coming up. They're staged up there right now on your screen. And they are in. So out of lane number 3 from Greensboro, North Carolina, our host town, here, tournament town at the beautiful Greensboro Aquatic Center. But for the Greensboro Y is Mason Duggins. He's in lane 3. Alex Burkhart from Foothills, South Carolina is in lane number 4. Will Trotman from Wilton, Connecticut. The Wilton Y Wahoos is in 5. And Joe Roseal from New Canaan, Connecticut, neighbor to Wilton, is in lane number 6. Again, on your men's side of the screen, at the top of the pool, lane number 1, at the bottom, lane number 8. So over on the women's side, your final heat number 5 is in the water. And out of lane number 2, Caitlin Henderson from Greensboro, North Carolina, 14 years old. Gardner Vinny, 18, from Spartanburg, South Carolina, is in lane 3. She was 80th in the 200 free last year. Audrina Supton, 14 years old, from Emmy Lyons, in lane number 4. Sydney Lillis from the Wilton Y Wahoos is in lane number 5. She was 25th in the 200 fly last year at this event. Chelsea Burkhart, lane 6, from Foothills, South Carolina, 99th in the 200 breaststroke last year. And then Esme O'Neill, 14 years old, from Greensboro, North Carolina, is in lane number 7. So we'll work our way through this on the men's side and the women's side. 1,000 freestyle. This is the final heat of our time final event. We'll have the results posted to Meet Mobile and to our website after this is completed. The awards will be given out tomorrow night. So on the men's side, we are 200 through, and Will Trotman from the Wilton Y Wahoos, he was 29.63 on that last 50s at 152.76. Trotman coached by the infamous Joe Bonk, former national record holder in the 50, 100 free on the long course for Yoda. Been up there in Wilton, Connecticut for a number of years now, coaching these national squad swimmers. But Trotman galloping along right there, still your leader through 250, 1/4 of the way through, followed by Mason Duggins. Trotman was 222.28, and he was that fastest split there. Over on the ladies' side through the 200, Chelsea Burkhart from Foothills, South Carolina. She was 202 going through the 200 and through the 250. Burkhardt now 234.27. Followed by Sydney Lillis from the Wilton Wahoos. Right there in lane number 5. Sid at 31.70 on that last split and 234.90. 1/4 of the way. Almost one, yes, 1/4 of the way through. So Trotman still your leader for the Wilton Wahoos on the men's side in lane number 5 down here in that black cap. National team cap for the Wahoos. And Sid Lillis now edging ahead. So Coach Bonks, he's probably got his head going back and forth on these pools, or at least watching the scoreboard, whatever pool he's watching right now. But here comes Lillis trying to chase down Burkhardt. And then on the men's side, still Will Trotman. Trotman, 16 years old. Lillis, a senior for the Wahoos. Both having a good swim, now trying to move up on the women's side. From Emmy Lyons out of lane number 4, that's Audrina Sutphin. And then on the men's side, it's still Trotman. He posted 30.21, and on the women's side, 31.97 for Sid Lillis. But here comes Sutphin. She was 31.57 as they are through the 400. Still Lillis up and trying to make a move, and through the 500, Will Trotman. He was 4:52.90. He was still the fastest split. He was 30.17 on that last 50. Let's see where he is on this 50. He's 30.08, so accelerating for Will Trotman from the Wilton Wahoos. He's a 5:22.98, 5:50 through. Here comes Sutphin trying to chase down Sydney Lillis. She moved up a little bit, 0.25 of a second through that 500. And at the 500, Lillis at 5:14.10, Sutphin at 5:14.45, and Burkhardt at 5:15.91. So pretty good race going on here in heat number 5 of 5 on the women's side, and Will Trotman trying to put even more water in between he and the rest of the field. 29.95 on that last 50. Through 600. Coming up on the 650 mark for Trotman. Looks like Sutphin, now you're a leader. She's in the red cap right there in lane number 4. Lillis, Sutphin was, let's see where her split is right now. But she's accelerating on this last back half of this 1,000. So Sutphin at 31.45 on that last 50, 6:17.58 through 600. And Lillis is 6:18.36. She was 32.43 on that last 50. And Will Trotman still your leader. He's now at 30.818. He was at 6:53.12. So Will Trotman doing the job on the men's side there in their final heat. And Sutphin now with the turnover. Sutphin, you know, her sister swam in that first heat and was our defending champion. And Audrina, 14 years old, taking it over here in this final heat for Emmy Lyons, just ahead of Sydney Lillis. You know that Sydney Lillis is heading up to Maine to Bowdoin College next year. Take her swimming skills up there. A tremendous D3 school. Great college. I know her parents are proud of her and all that she's accomplished in her swimming career. Y Nationals again. And she is known for her 200 fly. We do know that about Sid Lillis, but given a shot here in the 1,000 tonight. And Will Trotman, he'll have 6 lengths to go. 8:50 through for Will, and he was 29.84 at 8:23.08. Women's with 30 lengths through. Sutphin, Lillis, and then Burkhart. And Sutphin there, she goes 31.40. Lillis 32.22 on that last 50 with 200 to go. Burkhart was 33.35 at 8:32.89. Well, with 100 to go, Will Trotman still in the 29s, having the swim of his life right now for the Wilton Y Wahoos here at Greensboro, North Carolina, at the beautiful Greensboro Aquatic Center. Sutphin really stretching it out here on the back half. She's 31.31 again. Lillis 32.54. Sutphin now has about a 6-second lead. She's 8:54.64 over Sid Lillis at a 9:00.16. And a Will Trotman with just 50 to go. He was 29.46. So big swim for Will Trotman, and he will finish up. He goes 28.89 on that last 50. 9:51.05 for Will Trotman. That was a great swim for Will. And we're going to be finishing up on the women's side. In second place right now, John Roselle. On the men's side at 10:00.19. Finishing third is Mason Duggins. On the men's side at 10:02.33. Bell lap for Audrina Sutphin, still followed by Sid Lillis. And then Chelsea Burkhart on the women's side. So Ava Sutphin, she was 31.01. She's been holding those 31s in the last probably 300. And we'll know she'll try to get underneath that 30-point mark if she can. She's got a lot of legs into it right now. Great turnover for Audrina Sutphin. And she'll go. Great swim right there. 10:26.77. She goes 29.85 on that last 50. Here comes Sid Lillis, and she'll finish up with a nice